I just hope I'm not one of the only few people that is kind of worried about how this offseason to a degree has went. You had a chance to discuss or get a clear answer from Alex Mack whether he was going to retire or not, and you didn't address it until you signed Donovan West out of Arizona State as an undrafted free agent. So you're telling me it's between him and Brunskill at center?
No. It is Jake Brendel's job to lose, whoever that is.
I think he went to Army or Navy,
No, he went to UCLA.
Oh,
he's only 30 years old, man.
But still, it's Jake Brendel. Like,
he's played 6 snaps the last 3 years.
Why is it down to him? That's my issue. Exactly. See, he understands.
Exactly.
And I don't understand why it's down to Jake Brendel when you could have had this conversation with Alex Mack in like March.
You know why it's down to Jake Brendel? Because Jimmy Garoppolo's contract's still on the books.
That too. And that's another problem. Why is Jimmy still on the books? Like literally all the reports.
We're waiting to get that 7th round pick in return.
For all the reports that have been coming out for not just Jimmy, but for Baker Mayfield, any team that's willing to trade for those two guys, the team has to take on a salary. So why are if you're not willing to pay that salary, then just cut him loose so you don't have to have that money on the books.
The way you do that is if his contract was guaranteed. Guess what? It's not.
That's what I know. So you can just cut him and move on.
But it's too late. If they would have cut him today, we'd all be like, well, why didn't you do that 3 months ago?
Exactly. Yeah. And then now you go get J.C. Treader, who's considered one of the better centers in the league, who's still on the market. He's a little older.
Jake Brendel. Sorry, Jake.
And then the other part of this too is why haven't you brought Tart back on a non-guaranteed contract?
He dropped that pick. End of story.
That just shouldn't even be the reason though. He's been solid.
You know it is.
Yeah, you're right. But it's just frustrating because he's a solid safety. He's not the playmaker that you would want, but he's a solid.
Talanoa is a solid safety. You have no idea. No clue.
We have no clue. And even then, it would be nice just to have him for depth anyway, because you never know what could happen with secondary. And secondary has always been an issue for us in terms of injuries.
I feel like me and you, I've been saying this all offseason, like respectfully, in the most respectful way possible. I don't like this offseason. What are they doing? And Niner fans are like, shut up.
The only thing I like is the fact that you went out and got Ward, even though I wish you would have got out and gotten J.C. Jackson instead.
Right.
I still am okay with the Ward signing. But another thing too is like you have two. Okay, now this is kind of like a different subject, but the linebacker room, you have Fred Warner who's on a long-term deal, right? But you have your two other guys that you believe in, and Greenlaw and Al-Shaair. They're on the last year of their deals. Al-Shaair signed a restricted tender, I believe, and then Greenlaw's on the last year of his rookie deal. So what's going to happen with that room a year from now? Are both of those guys going to get big contracts elsewhere, and then all you're left with is hoping a young undrafted free agent or 5th round pick is going to be the guy opposite of Warner?
Yes. You were speaking so many facts right now. Everything you're saying, I agree with. I'm like, yep. I mean, maybe it's because your son's there because he's a good influence, but that's exactly what's going to – you think Azeez Al-Shaair is going to be on this team long term? I don't.
I don't either because I think he's going to get priced out. I think he's going to get priced out. I think some team like Jacksonville or Cleveland who wants a linebacker is going to give him a bunch of cash because he
Robert Saleh, bingo.
Robert Saleh to the Jets. There you go.
Bingo.
And CJ Mosley, a year from now, contract could be null and void, and they just cut him and replace him with Al-Shaair. It's just I don't know. There's just certain things, and then obviously as a big fella myself, the offensive line is obviously an overall and worry. Like you lost Tomlinson. Trent Williams is hopefully going to play more than 12 games a year. So you got to also have another contingency plan for the backup left tackle. And then the guard position. I mean, Aaron Banks has had his interviews lately where he lost body fat and he looks good overall. But it's like, is he really going to be the left guard that we need him to be? And then obviously
his goal for the offseason is to strain harder through the drills.
Yeah. And then obviously my biggest issue with the offensive line, besides the Max situation, is the McGlinchey situation. You know this, Grant. I've talked a lot about McGlinchey on your show, man. Like McGlinchey is just he's a good run blocker. There's no doubt about that. 6'8", 315 to 320. Whenever he's in the mood to gain strength and weight, he's a good run blocker. But pass protection, man, he's god awful. I just if the fact that he has the fact that he has the butt cheek face mask and then every time he's pass pro, he's always head down like this, getting beat on a pass pro. It's concerning.
The fact that the offense didn't fall off at all when Tom Compton replaced him.
Exactly. And then you let him walk for a veteran minimum deal with the Broncos. You didn't even bring him back for a vet minimum. That's what he went to Denver for. He didn't sign no big contract.
Jose, you're speaking way too many facts right now. I think we gotta stop.
And one more thing I want to bring up. My bad. One more thing.
Yeah.
Is what is Kyle's decision making with this running back room? Like you have Mitchell, right? Who's the number one guy, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. But who is going to be your 2 and 3, and maybe even 4 with Jeff Wilson, with Sermon, and that kid they just drafted, Price. Like, and out of those 3 guys, besides Mitchell, what are you going to do with those 3 other guys?
Yeah.
And
how many running backs do you need? Back, right? 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Hasty's back too. So what are you going to do with those other guys outside of Mitchell? Are you actually going to give these guys touches and run a true committee? Or are you going to keep swapping these guys in and out every week and not really have a true plan outside of Mitchell? I just don't understand it. You traded up for Sermon and you didn't use him because he didn't have vision. And then now you got Price, who was considered a 5th round pick, even a 6th round in some places, and you overgot him in the 3rd. I don't know. This running back room is a little outside of Mitchell, obviously. And even then, Mitchell showed that he's a good running back, but how many games are you going to get out of him? So that's my problem is outside of Mitchell, you got to figure out your plan on the backup running back situation.
Yeah. Other than that, looks like a Super Bowl team. Jose, thank you for calling in.